good morning, Facebook family. Happy Friday. Good morning from for those that are tuning in from LinkedIn. Happy Friday. I know it's early, but the early bird gets the worm. So today we're going to talk about who to pitch and why to pitch your book. And August is the month of book pitching, and I wanted to. This is for my author community. This is for my aspiring authors, authors who you're going through the publishing process and you have goals for your book. So tune in, grab your pen, grab your paper, invite your friends because I'm going to talk about who you should be pitching your book to and why you should be pitching your book. Again, my goal is to bring you tips and nothing but great information regarding the author industry, right? Author publishing industry. So again, for those who are new to my face is new to your timeline. My name is Stephanie A. Wynn. I am the author of Ready, Set, Go, a simple guide to establishing a successful small business. And I help authors get it together, create a plan for their book simplistically without the overwhelm. And I help authors also figure out their ideal customer so that they can, build their business because being an author it is truly a business. And get more and generate more revenue outside of the book sales. Because I think sometimes when we publish books, we're just so focused on I got this book, I gotta sell, and we don't have a true plan for our book. So we're gonna get right into it this morning. But I want to say thank you. Before we get started, I want you to come with a renewed mind. It's a fresh morning, the start of a new day. And remember, before you venture off on anything, it starts with the renewing of your mind. And what's the renewing of your mind? Well, that's having a growth mindset. We're so conditioned of having a fixed mindset where we self-sabotage things. Oh, success hasn't happened for me. I'm just too busy. I'm time poor. I don't have the capacity to do things. Um, Other people are being successful. And we're not going to think that way this morning. We're not thinking that way this morning. We're thinking success. So everything that you do, it has to be with the growth mindset. You have to come from a place of, I will succeed. I will work while I wait. I will figure this out instead of giving up and getting frustrated. Does that make sense? So I want to say good morning. Good morning to all of my people who are tuning in. And thank you so much for tuning in this morning. So we're going to get right started. We're going to get started. And let me get everything set up on my Facebook. Okay. Good morning, Kim. Hi, Kim. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. All right. So today's topic is who to pitch and why to pitch your book, right? So let's get started. So if you don't know about me, my name is Stephanie A. Wynn. I started my very first business at the age of 23, and it was an ice cream shop. I was the youngest woman of color in my community to open an ice cream shop because there wasn't any ice cream shops on the south side of St. Pete within the 5 mile radius of the community. So I also conducted a nation, which is what prompted me to publish my very first book. And then I went on to conduct the nationwide book tour with my very first published book, Ready, Set, Go, a simple guide to establishing a successful small business. Now, the reason why I published Ready, Set, Go is because I kept getting so many questions about how to start a business, what to do, how to get the business up and running. And so I did not want to, I figured I need to help. I gotta help my friends. So that's what prompted me to write the book Ready, Set, Go. And then my goal, my passion, my purpose is helping purpose-driven entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs get clarity on their ideal customer simplistically and build their business brand by providing business development strategies that generate revenue, consistent revenue. Now, Some of you who are tuning in may not be authors yet, but hang on, because I'm going to be dropping some gems this morning. Okay, so let's get right to it. All right, so here's why I need to break down what is a pitch, right? Because a lot of people say I want to, get my book here, I want to do this and I want to do that. But before we get into the pitch, I want you to ask yourself this. Ask yourself this question. What's the goal for your book? Like, what's the goal for your book? What's the purpose for your book? Like, what's the purpose and what's the goal for your book? You got to ask yourself these questions now. Like, ask yourself these questions because I'm saying it's so important. It's so important that you know why you're writing this book. A lot of times authors do the very opposite. We get the book in our hand, we'll start selling to everybody, and we don't even have nothing planned. There's nothing put together. So I really want I want you to think about this. Like, think about what is really the purpose. What am I going to do with this book? What's the goals for this book? So let's get into what a pitch is. So maybe you're asking, well, Stephanie, what is a pitch? And so defined, a pitch is a form of words used when trying to persuade someone to buy or accept something. So it's like you're wanting to go and maybe you're a speaker. For my authors who are speakers out here, who want to be speakers, maybe you're pitching to organizations, but I'm going to get into that too. But a pitch is you telling, hey, you're taking your book. Hey, I have this book. This is why I should be wherever it is you want to be with this book. Maybe you want to, hey, Lola B, thank you for tuning in. Maybe your book is simply for you to, go on a nationwide book tour. But before you do any of that, why are you pitching? Do you know why you're pitching this book? Or why you want to go on a nationwide book tour? Is it for brand awareness? Is it get more exposure? Or is it to, make impact, right? Some people just want to get, for notoriety purposes. But some people really want to serve their community and make a major impact, right? I'm just saying. So remember, this is what a pitch is. It's a form of words that you use to try to persuade someone, just like with selling your book. Just like you're selling your book. That's a pitch. If you think about it. To sell your book, you got to pitch to somebody to convince them that your book is the book they need to purchase, right? Same thing. So, but the pitch is we go a little bit further, right? We're going to go a little bit further because you got to have a goal as to why you're pitching this book. So we're going to get right into that. If this makes sense to you, give me a hashtag makes sense. Again, we have to be clear on why we're pitching our book, because it makes no sense to be pitching and we don't know why we're doing this, right? Same thing with selling your book. You're selling to all these people and you're burning out. I'm telling you, I know, because I've been there. Okay. So who are you pitching your book to? Right? Who are you pitching your book to? Are you pitching your book to, when I say who, like, is it your friends and family, right? When you first publish the book, most of us, we start selling to all these people, your friends, your family, your friends of friends, your coworkers, right? I remember when I was in corporate America, I was standing at the copy machine one day, and this lady approached me. She said, "Oh my gosh, hey, I know you. You're an author. I saw you on Twitter." And I was like, okay. I was real humble. I was that humble author, like, I'm just an author, right? So, but are you pitching to your coworkers? Like, I'm saying, and I'm gonna tell you this. I was like Master P when Ready, Set, Go was published. back in 2017, I was selling my book in addition to my website out the back of my car. Now, this is no lie. I can't make this up, but it's the truth. I always wondered, like, what does he mean? He was selling his CDs and tape out the back of his. I get it, because I was there. So everywhere that I go, my book is with me. I have a QR code on my phone. Hey, check it out. Hey, how can I get? Here's the book. There you go. So again, when you're out, your book is like a business card. It's what's going to get you into the door that you're wanting to get into. But you got to have an understanding of who are you pitching to first. Like, who are you pitching to? Do you have a list of who you're going to pitch to? Or are you just pitching to everybody? And I'm going to get to this too. I'm going to give you some tips of what not to do, because a lot of times we're pitching and we pitch and we'll send a boatload of emails. We'll blind copy a whole bunch of people. That's not the right way to pitch your book. So we're going to get right into this. Okay. All right. So are you pitching to bookstores, organizations, and corporations, or are you pitching to local or national libraries? Who are you pitching to? And I'm asking this question because you need to know this. You need to know this. Like, who are you pitching to? Are you pitching to bookstores, organizations, corporations, libraries on a local level or the national level? And I'm asking this question because sometimes we get we're just pitching to everybody. But you have to have a plan. I don't care what the pitch is. What is your plan, and are you being intentional about pitching your book? Sometimes we are just pitching and we're all over the place. We're just pitching just to see if it's gonna work. I just want to see if I can get in. No, you have to be intentional about, set your intentions on, I'm gonna pitch to Barnes and Noble and I'm gonna get in there. I'm going to pitch, Lola said, all of them. That's right. Bookstores, organizations. That's right. So, but my thing is this. Are you just pitching because you want to do a book sale? You want to sell books? Or are you pitching because you want to get paid to speak? And that's what I mean by, what is the goal of your book? What's the plan for your book? A lot of times I see this all the time, and there's nothing wrong with it. But let me break this down. I see a lot of authors, they'll publish a book, say, this year. And then by the end of December, they got another book they're getting ready to publish, and they haven't even promoted the first book. And they're just selling this book, selling both, trying to sell both. Well, you need to maximize. I'm still promoting Ready, Set, Go. Ready, Set, Go is still making room for me in other areas, because there's topics inside of Ready, Set, Go that I utilize, right? So again, you have to maximize this book. And this book, it has to make sense. Maybe you wrote a book about self-esteem, building self-esteem. Maybe you wrote a book about imposter syndrome or how to overcome something. Maybe your book is about, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So when we talk about pitching to organizations and corporations, oh man, the opportunities are endless, because you can pitch that to the organization, right? So who are you? I say this again. Who are you pitching your book to? Is it bookstores, organizations, corporations, local or national libraries? Lola said, I want to change lives and get paid to speak. Awesome. Hey, that's right. That's right. Impact. So, number 3, because I've told y'all I'm not going to keep y'all long today. Number 3, why are you pitching? So, let me get close with y'all. You got to know this first. I left this for number 3 because I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on this. Why are you pitching? Do you know why? Do you know why you're pitching? Sometimes we're pitching just to pitch. Same thing with selling your book. Sometimes we're just selling. Oh, I'm selling. You're selling your book to everybody. And everybody don't want your book. So when you're pitching, you have to have a strategy. And we're going to get into this. Why are you pitching? Are you pitching to land paid speaking opportunities? Are you pitching to get more book sales? Or are you pitching to get author book signing opportunities? There's three different things here. I'm just asking. I'm asking this because oftentimes it's normally number one and number three. Because if you do number one, you can sell your books in the back of the room. Or if you're pitching to speak, that can be a part of your agreement that they buy so many books, right? Just saying, I'm just drop some little tips for those that don't know, right? So if your goal is to do number one and number three, there's a strategy to that. Before you even pitch, you have to set yourself up. You have to set yourself up to go before these organizations and these corporations. So for my people and my authors in the back who are blind copying or they're sending mass emails to organizations, you're not even being more like intimate with the person who makes the decision for speaking. Stop it. There's a way to do that. I know I used to do that. I'm serious. I used to do that because nobody told me, and even when I paid for coaches to tell me or show me, they still never told me or showed me. So I'm all about helping you do the strategy the right way. So again, you have to know why you're pitching and who you're going to pitch to. Maybe you want to speak at the universities and colleges, right? But to do that, there's a strategy. Maybe your goal is to go and speak to nonprofit organizations. But to do that, there's a strategy, right? I'm just saying, maybe there's a nonprofit organization that helps women overcome, domestic violence. If you are a survivor of domestic violence and you have a strategy of how you overcame that, oh man, they'll people. There's organizations out here that will pay you to come and speak. I'm just saying. Remember, you have to know why you're pitching. And three of the reasons why. I mean, there's a host of other reasons, but again, some people like paid speaking opportunities. Lola says she wants to change lives and get paid. So there's book sales. You want to get more book sales. And then there's author book signing opportunities. So I'm just saying, I'm saying all of that to say, know who you're pitching and why you're pitching. You have to know who and why. I'm just saying. So, all right. Now, does anybody have any questions about pitching? Because you guys are going to need this if you're in the process of publishing a book, if you're in the process of good morning, Renee. If you're in the process of writing your book, if you're going through the publishing process, if you are already published a book, I'm telling you, think about the pitching opportunities. Like, why are you pitching this book? And who are you going to pitch the book to? But before you start pitching, I need you to ask yourself, What are the goals for my book? And I'm only asking this question because many of us as authors, we don't even have goals for the book when we first publish. We don't have goals. And let me just say this, and I'm going to keep saying this. When I published my book, and I had a publisher, when I published my book, my goal wasn't to be Amazon #1 bestseller. My goal was bigger than that. My goal was to make an impact because I knew that in my local city, in my community, that there wasn't an essential guide to help people start their business. I knew that, yeah, there's an incubator here that they have, they have all these things, these resources and tools, but I knew that I needed to break how to start a business down simplistically for my community. And that's exactly what we did, right? But I knew that I needed to maximize my time. My thought process is this. Once I publish this book get in my hand, then what? What's next after I sell to my audience? Then what comes after the next? What's next? So I wanted to make a major, massive impact. So I went on I planned a nationwide book tour. There was no publicist involved. I put forth effort and time, and I created a nationwide. I went on a nationwide book tour. Did I learn a lot? Absolutely. Did I impact a lot of people? Absolutely. Is my book on people's coffee tables in San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles? Yes. Yes. Chicago, DC? Yes. Dallas? Yes. So again, my goal was different. So sometimes we have to get outside of just, okay, the book sale. You have to ask yourself before you pitch your book to anyone, and you should start thinking about this before you get this book in your hand. For my authors who have already published their books, you've already published, you've gone on, you're doing podcast interviews, you're getting the brand awareness. That's awesome. That's amazing. What's next for your book? What's next for your book? At the time, I had to invest in my author brand. And that involved me really writing out what I wanted for this book. I wasn't even thinking about publishing a second book. I was maximizing the first book. I have content from this book, from book tours that I haven't even shared yet. So remember, your book will make room for you. You just have to put in the effort and the time. And I'm going to say this, but I'm going to wait till the end to say this. Your book will make room for you if you truly believe that your book can. Now, for those of you who are struggling with how to pitch your book and what to do to pitch your book, I want to say this. I want to say this before we move on. There are two things you will need to do before you pitch your book, right? And this I'm so serious. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning. There's two things that you need to do. I like to give these takeaways, y'all. So write it down, screenshot it, write it down, right? Actually, there's three. I gave y'all three. You need to create a pitch list. Create your pitch list. Who are you pitching to? Is it bookstores? If it's bookstores, what are the name of the bookstores? If it's Stephanie A. Wynn, name the person. Alicia say, good morning. Good morning, love. I need to talk book title. Absolutely, Alicia. So create a pitch list. 1. Number 2, create a strategy. What's your strategy? What's your pitch strategy? Now, this is just one of many things that you need to do with this book. Pitching is the month of August. We're talking about pitching for my author community because my goal is I'm focusing on my author community. That's my focus. Create a strategy. And number 3, your bonus, implement your strategy. It's one thing to create a list. It's another thing to create a strategy. But it doesn't mean anything if you're not. Oh, y'all can't. Did y'all see that? Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. It's one thing. Technical difficulties. Okay. It's one thing to create the pitch list. It's another thing to create a strategy. But if you never implement this strategy, nothing is going to happen. And so a year will go by, 6 months, a year will go by, and you're still in the same place. I need to pitch my book, and you never do. So I'm just saying, create the pitch list, create a strategy, and implement your strategy. Does that make sense? If this makes sense to you and you understand this, hashtag makes sense. All right. So remember, these are the, before you pitch your book, these are the 3 things you need to do first. These are the 3 things. Create a pitch list. Now, if you need help creating this pitch list or creating this pitch strategy, I want you to join me on Thursday, August 18th. And I'm going to be teaching how I turned my $20 book into a 5-figure business. This workshop, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about in this workshop in a minute here. It's a free webinar. Here's what you're going to learn. I'm going to teach you how to build a 6-figure author brand before selling your book, what tools you will need to create a successful book marketing strategy, because you will need a strategy. Let me say this. At some point on your entrepreneurship journey, you're going to need a strategy. Devon Moody said, I need to pitch my book. Awesome, Devon. Thank you for tuning in. You will need a strategy. You're going to need tools. Now, I'm not saying tools, all of these tools, because the market is loud with what you need to do. You need to buy this, buy that. I know, I was there. Let me get close because I want to tell y'all this. I was there. I saw it all. I bought it all and didn't know how to use any of it, right? So I had to remove all of that noise and go with what worked for me. And pitching is simplistic if you have a strategy, if you have the right tools, and if you set yourself up the right way. There is a strategy to this, right? So inside of this workshop, I'm also going to teach you how to pitch your book to bookstores and organizations and corporations. As you can see, I've done many Barnes and Noble book tours. Again, I went on a nationwide book tour. I went to colleges and spoke, DePaul University, Howard University. I also was at Cal State University. So again, this is doable, but you have to put forth time and effort. And I'll say this. If you don't believe in your book, how do you expect others to believe enough in you to pay you to come and speak and sell your books? I'm just saying, you gotta believe in yourself. A lot of us are dealing with, well, what if it doesn't work out? Well, we know if you don't do something, it's never going to work out. We have to stop creating these thoughts that we create the thoughts in our mind. That's why I started in the beginning. You got to have a growth mindset, because in order to get from where you are to pitching your book, it's going to require something from you, and that's effort and time. And I'm going to say this. You cannot teach drive. Drive has to be in you. No one, you could pay $1 million, drive to a coach, a consultant. If you don't have the drive to do something, it's not going to get done. I don't care how much money you spend. It's not going to get done. So you have to have that mindset that this will work. This is going to work. This will work. So I want you all to sign up for the workshop. Come and get these nuggets. My author community, I'm only sharing this because I didn't have anyone telling me that, okay, you need the brand first. I knew that there was something missing. That's just the gift that God has given me. I knew I needed something more than just this book. I knew I needed an author website. I knew that I needed certain tools to get me in the door at DePaul University. I knew I needed certain tools to get me in the door at Cal State. I needed tools. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So grab your seat. The link is at the bottom, and then I'll put it. It's going across the screen. So grab your seat and listen. I want you all to have a wonderful day. Remember, if you don't believe in your book or your brand or the business, how do you expect others to believe enough in you to buy into what you're selling? Right? I'm your girl, Stephanie A. Wynn, coming to you live today. And if nothing else, remember, you got to put forth effort and time. Okay? So I'll talk to you soon. Remember, you got to create the list. You got to create a strategy. And I need you to implement that strategy today. Okay? Until next time, bye.